Tiaan Ras, Strategic Relationship Director at Etiket. Welcome to the Red Zone.
Morning, Karen.
Can you give me some background around the services Etiket offers?
Etiket, I think before we go into the services, Etiket just turned 5 in September, so we're a pretty young agency. And I think the best way to classify Etiket is to say that we are full service, very conceptual, very experiential.
You speak about the brand narrative. What do you mean by this, and why do you feel every brand needs a strong narrative?
If we say that a brand is a personality, and I know in academic terms a brand is much more than just a personality, but just to explain the point here. So if a brand is a personality, if I understand your personality and the type of person that you are, I know what value to attach to you. But if I don't sense you very clearly, I find you schizophrenic. So I don't know whether I should like you or whether I should not like you. So before we get to the brand narrative, before we can work on a brand narrative, a brand needs a very clearly distilled positioning, a very clear essence, very clear values around the brand. Because that will determine what the story will be that the brand can tell at the end. And you have to be consistent with that narrative across all the channels that you communicate in.
Which brands would you say are doing this particularly well?
We are very fortunate in the sense that we can work with F&B. Thank you, F&B. And I think F&B has got a very good narrative. F&B is always the brand that's how can we help you. So there's always help implied, help very kind of clearly communicated in everything that they do. I think Nando's and the guys at Black River SC is doing a great job with Nando's, is positioning it as always as the jester brand.
You believe in advertising and brand awareness beyond the traditional. Can you explain how your LAPA campaign has showcased this?
We indeed believe in advertising and awareness beyond the traditional. Our best work is where we can engage and interact with the consumer. And I think with social media nowadays, the market is so ready for co-creation in terms of brand. LAPA came to us and said they created a new website and they needed actually more traffic on the website. So the brief was really simple: create more feet or eyeballs on the website. The mechanic, however, was not that simple, because client didn't have a huge budget, so we couldn't outbid search words and pay-per-click and all the classical digital media. So the campaign that we actually created for them was a very interactive, very engaging campaign, where people could actually take part in this private investigator type of pre-book scenario. They had to solve 20 riddles. The winner of this whole pre-book campaign would actually become the main character in a LAPA book called Die Snydokter, which is currently being written by Leon van Nierop. So totally unique concept in the South African market, where taking part in a pre-campaign, you can actually become the main character in the actual book. Now, the outcome of this campaign, the results, was actually quite astounding, because it's a fairly complicated campaign with a lot of intricate, complicated riddles that you had to solve. But we had so many people taking part in this campaign that LAPA's website actually crashed a few times, which created a headache for them, but for us it was like, wow, we're overachieving what we should achieve.
Well, that's really interesting. And then moving on, what are you doing to ensure your survival in what has been a very sensitive economic climate?
We are fortunate at Etiket that the directors all are key supporters of Bob Burke and the whole go-giver philosophy. And there's only really one way that you can pull through this, and is by adding value to your client, making sure that your agency provides that value which will want to make them come back to you.
Moving into 2013, what work should we be looking out for from Etiket?
Well, you'll have to wait and see what type of work we will produce, but what I can say is that we are going into the KZN market, which is very exciting for us, so watch this space.
Great. And can you describe your agency in a tweet?
It will actually be easier to create a Facebook post for you, but let's give the tweet a try. I would say is driving results by creating brand belief through building interactive and engaging brand narratives.
Great. Well, Tiaan Ras, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you kindly.